Hello, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
Good, good, good. Thank you so much for creating the time. I know that you have been very busy, and
Yes.
I'm seeing the fantastic work. So I'm following you on Instagram. So I'm seeing the fantastic works at the school. So many congratulations on that, Sister Cheryl. I have to just give you your dues. So, what is your best definition of activism? Whether it's an adopted notion or one that you have sort of developed yourself over the years?
For me, I would say just get on with it. Yeah. That's it. Like, we know the issues in our community. We know that we have to do something. And rather than spend time talking about it, just do something. So that's really, to me, you don't have to be cheered from the stands. You don't even have to be well known. Just get on and do. You'll be recognised for your, for your works by those that you're supporting and those that you're helping. Whether that be children and young people, supporting families, or standing up against injustice with regards to the systems that we unfortunately are part of. So for me, it's quite a broad term. There's not a one hat fits all with regards to that. You just get on with getting on to make that change so that the next generation have something to work from.
How much consciously or unconsciously do you feel that this notion of just get on with it has influenced you and sort of steered the direction of where you find yourself now?
Well, I was a difficult child. My mum would tell you. I never towed the party line. I never did what I was supposed to do. I never fit in. I haven't fitted in from a kid till this day. But unfortunately, she probably didn't even recognize that by me not fitting in was probably my greatest strength in becoming who I am today. So, yeah, I've always been slightly off the mark with regards to how, what's the right word I can use? With regards to like basically conforming like everybody else does. I would always buck the trend. I would always have something to say. I would always be like, that's not right. So, and even though I got in trouble for it, I still continue to do it regardless. And then as I got older, I found my niche from a business standpoint, and then even doing this. And even whilst I was in my business, in, corporate and also running our directory and other companies, what I found was that I always tended to navigate towards the central government and changing the narrative from the top down, and being part of their board of this, that, and the other, all kinds of different things. So it wasn't by accident that I end up doing what I'm doing now, but just not part of the system, doing it outside of the system, and still making sure that what needs to be done gets done.
Very, very important, and such a powerful point for this generation actually is that, in embracing your difference and just embracing who you are and being true to who you are, that you were able to, develop in line with where you find yourself now. There's a very, very key message in that, conforming will not necessarily allow you to realize your potential, and that you don't need to necessarily resist, because one of the things that always comes to mind when you think about activism is that it's a form of resistance. But from what you're saying is that it's actually just been part and parcel of who you are. You're not basically reacting. You've taken a decision that we are worthy enough as a people, and that is your incentive, that is your motivation, to really see the best achieved for our community. So I think what you said is very, very powerful, and hopefully a great encouragement to the generation of today. So how important do you feel that activism is then to the nation building agenda of our community?
It's very important, but I take things from a different mindset. I don't know if I'd call it activism, but for me, I genuinely believe that until we start just getting on with nation building and stop complaining verbally, if we're going to complain, we need to do it following the laws of the land wherever we are, and actually challenging the system or the systematic approaches that they take towards us. For me, nation building just starts with an act of doing, planning, creating institutions. That to me is then you can physically see where you're going. But having great debates and conversation and all kinds of things that mean nothing, can change nothing, that's why I believe that our nations are yet to be built wherever we are, because we've allowed everybody else to come in and tear apart what we have built previously, and we haven't even healed from that, and we still allow the same thing to happen today. So until we actually start taking a stance with regards to how we treat each other and how we are allowed to be treated by everybody else, then we're going to struggle to even get along. Because sometimes that can be the key. We don't even get along sometimes, even with ourselves, for goodness sakes, let alone anybody else. Yeah. So to me, that's what it is. But then for me as well, I am a person that I'm not going to wait for everybody else to join my camp before I get on and do something. I'm going to get on and do what I need to do because I see a vision and I want to act on it, and I'm tired of hearing the chitter chatter. So, and those that then want to follow on or join in or contribute or whatever it may be will come and do that later on if they choose to. They may not to. So for me personally, I just get on with getting on. Like literally, my mantra is just do it. You know, if you fail, then you try again. If you fail, then you try again. And you keep going until you get there, until you get it right. So that's really how I work. And even joining with people, the amount of different organizations that have been set up, and, you know, it's just tiring. It's all tiring. So I've got a very, very tunnel vision. I'm just like getting on with what needs to be done. Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of it. I can't really, everything else is just long for me, as the kids would say. That's just long, bruv. Yeah. I don't have as you can hear how I speak, very fast. That's how my brain works. And if I decide I'm doing something today, it's getting done today, or I start tomorrow and I want to do it immediately and I don't want to wait. It just needs to get done. Yeah. And then I cry about it later if it didn't work out. And then I'll just keep it moving and do it again.
Keep it moving. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And why do you think that the word activism has received a bad press over the years? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think that you have two tiers or several tiers of people and how their mindset work. You've got those in our community who live a certain lifestyle, so activism has nothing to do with them. I'm all right. My children are all right. So what do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean there's a problem with the system? Oh, no, I'm on a 6-figure salary. Of course there's not a problem with the system. You're the problem, you know. And then you have those who see the clear problems with the system. So you're always going to have that. But it being classified, I think a lot of people see your Malcolm X's, your Marcus Garvey's, your Martin Luther King's. I think that that's it. But when I even say that's it, they did a great deal. But I think that because we're failing to educate ourselves and our children in what those people actually meant and the legacies they've left for us, because we are going to have to continue to fight. We are going to have to keep challenging racism. We are going to have to keep challenging all the things that they fought back then. We're in 2021 and we're still fighting those same challenges. So unless we're educating our children about what has come before and what's going on now, because there are a lot of powerful people out there today, right now, who are alive and well. Our children have said to us, from even me, it's like, but these people are dead. So why are you telling me about them now? Yes, they've died, but they're still irrelevant to knowing their story and their journey. But then even right now, we have people in our communities and even abroad who are doing things that we can take a leaf out of. And they don't necessarily actually have to be of the African community. There are people outside our community who are doing amazing things. Because all we need to do is learn to pick what we need from what they're doing and utilize it for our own benefit and not worry about everything else and complaining about, oh, don't you know that? No one cares. What I need is what I will pick from everything and everybody and utilize that to benefit our community. And it's as simple as that. So some people don't see the benefit in that, and some people do, but then have meetings about it and do nothing else, or start new organizations which fizzle out in a month. But no one actually does the work. And that's where the problem actually lies, is that it's easy to sit on the sidelines and criticize. It's easy to get on camera and talk really lovely words. But when it comes to actually physically doing the work and researching your market, understanding what it is you need to do to take this to the next level, that's where things tend to fall down. And then 3 months later, someone sets up something else.
Yeah.
So
what would you say then is one simple form of nation building practice, rather than use the word activism, because I'm getting the impression that for you activism isn't necessarily the right word, but like what is one nation building practice that as a people we can adopt sort of on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I would go with economics, because you need money. I would say that for that, I would go down the economic saving schemes, because you need money. You know, right now, for what I do with the Black child agenda, the African child agenda, but more in the work I do in the UK, costs money. And legal aid and things like that are non-existent. Even for crime, it will be non-existent very soon. So education law, there's no legal aid unless your child, like, it's really severe, and then you've got to apply. Family law, where they're literally ripping apart families, there's no legal aid. So you need to find the money. Some solicitors are charging £350 an hour plus VAT. Then to go to court, you're being charged £1,200. Then to get a barrister to represent you, you're being charged another £1,800. Most families don't have that money. So unless we have a pot of money that says that this is for emergencies, this is for this, there's allegedly 3 million Black people in the UK, but we have no schools that represent us and our culture and our heritage, and to educate our children to be the best that they can be. And it's not just about Black history. It is about just that nurture that we naturally have. So unless and all of these things that I mentioned all cost money. And unless we start taking ourselves seriously with regards to an economic base and a pool that we can pick into when we need to and decide how we're going to utilize that money, we're going to continually go around in circles, because everyone's got something to say, but no one wants to put up the cash. No one wants to no one wants to donate £1 a week. 3 million people donating £1 a week. Are you serious? You're telling me you can't actually do something different with that? You're telling me that we can't build our own schools. You're telling me that the schools to prison pipeline will not be eliminated because we now are taking back the social, emotional and mental health and well-being of our children and our community. But no, we don't want to do that, because everyone wants to be the big kingpin in a very tiny pool of about God knows how many people, but you still do nothing. It's all you're doing is talking very loudly, but nothing is manifesting from your chitter chatter. So unless we're taking ourselves seriously, which I don't think we are, but our youths are taking themselves very seriously, and they're doing already. We're just talking. So unless we're actually listening to what they want and what they're saying, and actually putting our money where our mouth is, so that we can represent ourselves in the legal system, we can represent our children in the courts by way of schools and education. We can build our own schools. We can have our own cinemas. We can, everyone's talking about Black Wall Street and, dreamy-eyed. That costs money.
Exactly.
That's community cohesion. That means that we're working together to build. So it is all a lovely thing. It is beautiful. It's an amazing thing that we had, but that was so long ago now. What are we doing today besides talking about it, how great it was? Get on with it. Get on with building it then. If this is what you want to do, do it. There's nothing to stop you. Money is not our problem. Education is not our problem. Skill sets are not our problem as a community. It's like we're scared to do it. It's like we're fearful that someone or something may go wrong. Yes, so what? It may go wrong. You do it again and keep doing it. So that's me. It's like we've become stagnant in our discussion. We've had the same thing for 10, 20 years. We're stagnant in the conversation, or we're saying new things, but still there's no action. So then you can't be an activist unless you're putting some action to your talk.
Yes.
You know, so none of it makes sense to me. Again, hence why I tend to just get on with getting on. If it goes wrong, I have no one to blame but myself. If it goes right, then I can give myself a pat on the back and have a glass of champagne. So I have to, you know, and I just weigh it up like that, because for me, there's too much talking, and I don't do, unless I'm doing a video or something, I can't be dealing with a lot of talking and 1,000 meetings to discuss what we discussed.
No,
so,
absolutely. Thank you for that. With so much competing for our attention and attempting to distract us, how do we commit ourselves to nation building? What is it that we need to do so that we're not thrown off course or distracted?
I don't know. Like, the thing is, it's just like how you save with your bank. There's times where people may have glitches in life, and then there's times where things are good. So you make sure that you just keep things ticking along.
Finally, what would you say your sort of activism is inspired by? You know, what would you, if you were to kind of define it and complete the sentence? You know,
I don't like injustice. I can't stand racism, and I think we deserve more.
Yeah.
So with that I try and do something to make an impact so that we get more.
Yeah.
Even the work I'm doing out here, like, people, we deserve better. And I think that we've become complacent and implicit in how we view ourselves. I don't think we regard ourselves highly enough. We keep looking at other nations and other communities as the beacon and how wonderful they are, because that's what they sell us. But we don't sell ourselves. We sell ourselves very, very short. We don't give ourselves enough credit. And no, I don't think that's right. It's like, no, we need to make sure that our children are watching us. So if our children are watching us, not giving ourselves enough credit, not pushing ourselves, not trying to leave legacies for them, then what are we doing? You know, so I'm very much for just do everything you can, because when we go, what have we left? Our children are going to have to start from scratch all over again and try and build. And by the time they get to a certain age, then they're exhausted, then they pop their clogs, and then the next generation. And the cycle just continues. So it has to be, we have to try and do something different. We have to make sure that we stick to what we say we're going to do and stop chopping and changing because we're not getting enough accolades and we're not getting enough likes. You know, we need to just get on with it and make sure that it is sustainable, whether that's through funding, because people really turn their nose up. Like, I don't do funding because I can't fill out a funding application to save my life. And it takes too much time, and it just bores me. However, funding is like, why people are like, I don't want to beg them for their money. It's not their money, it's our money. So go and get the money. You know, investors, and we've got many, many millionaires in our community who, if your project makes sense, will give you something. So I'm always thinking outside of the box. Like in fact, I set fire to the box and dash it a long time. I'm always just doing different things to make sure that what I need to get, the end result, it happens. How I got there, sometimes I have no idea. I have no clue, but I made it happen and I just get on and do it. I'm building a school out here. I'm in Ghana. I don't know how. I've never built a school in my life, but that school will be built. Yeah. Trust me, that school will be built. It will be the best school that this town will ever have seen.
Yes.
You know, I'm building a library. I've never built a library, but I'm going to build that library.
Yes.
I don't care about the process on how to do it, but I know what my end goal is and I'm working towards it. How I get there is how I get there, but it will be got, and it will be a building that is there. So every generation that comes after me, or comes after even my children and my grandchildren and their children, can say, yeah, we did that. Whether it be did that or the community did that. And that's where, when I speak about even economics and group economics, that's what we're doing. We're not shouting and screaming from the rooftops about it, but the group economics from our community is happening. And the interesting thing is, even when I say that, 99.9% of the people that are actively doing or supporting some of, I can only talk about my work, are all women.
Wow.
99% women. And the women are the ones on the front line. And I don't want to be controversial. Well, I don't really care, to be fair. It's women on the front line. The women are the ones, because do you know, and I put it down to, maybe it's because they're the ones that have the children, they have to give birth, so they've got that natural protection and they want better for that child. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think what you said is actually just very telling. I think it's very, very telling, and maybe a signal of how we get over some of the hurdles that have existed and persisted for so long in our community. So yeah, thank you so much.